Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having lean ground beef and Asian stir-fry vegetables. Of course, the next complaint from people is going to be, Jason, you eat too many vegetables. That's unhealthy. Because I eat too much of something. Because, being over a 200-pound athlete, I can get by on 2,000 calories or something. All right, over to the point. Novice lifters, and this includes late novice lifters, always seem to think that they need way more volume than they actually do. All right, and I'm not saying I don't have some of my novices do some curls or some press downs or dumbbell extensions or anything. I'm not saying I don't have them do that, because I have quite a few of them do that. All right, have a lot of them do those things a little bit because they like them. But generally speaking, when you start putting some of your novice lifters onto programming, they always think, I need more. Coach, I need a bunch of rear delt work. I need a bunch of side delt work. I need more of this. I don't have enough volume. But they don't have any work capacity, right? And this is usually in the context of, for example, I run a few of my late novices on 531 type programming, right? Because conjugate's not appropriate for everyone, unfortunately. Their mindset, their strength, their equipment at their gym, right? I don't like to put a lot of novices sometimes on conjugate who don't have the right mindset to hit true maxes every single week, who only have one type of barbell. Just don't like to do it. So when you start putting them on some of these, again, they don't always realize you don't need as much volume as you think you do. People will see the volumes that I run, or even a few of my clients, and they're like, oh, well, everyone should be running that. Do you have a perfect lifestyle? Right? And if you look at the volumes that I do, we're not going to get into the other topic of any special supplementation. But when we look at some of the training volumes people see me do, like, your volumes are pretty high, even with a lot of your heavy work. Yeah. But what do I do to handle that? Look at my diet. Look at just the amount of vegetables and things I eat. Right? I have no nutrient deficiencies, ever. And that includes supplementing things to make sure I get large amounts of certain things. Right? Like I do cod liver oil, fish oil, vitamin K2, so on and so forth. Even taurine. I do a lot of things that are going to ensure my recovery, control inflammation, no dietary deficiencies. Perfect stress management. Right? I don't even interact with trolls anymore. I just ban you guys. When trolls, I just hit the ban button. Do you know why? I can't afford any stress. I just get rid of them. I get rid of any stress in my life. And that includes friends or family. People will try to make comments about that. I'm like, no, if there's any family in my life who aren't involved, I do not want them in my life. If you're a family member, you cause me stress, you're out of there. You're gone. I will block you on social media and block your phone number. I can't deal with it. I sleep at least 9 hours a night, every night, 7 nights a week. Right? I do biphasic sleeping, so it gets split up. Right? I sleep that much. Start factoring this stuff in, and yeah, I can handle a lot of volumes, but what are we getting out of it? 1%? Okay, that's what people forget. All that extra work I do is chasing a 1 to 2% advantage. One to 2%. When we go back and look at volume studies, we start finding people don't need as much as they think they do. And we start getting very quick diminished returns. And a lot of these kids, I'll give them some programming, and then they think they need more, but they don't. I mean, literally, I can reprogram versions of 531 boring but big and have 2 to 3 supplemental lifts per week. Right? I may need to change those supplemental lifts up based on weak points we're seeing. We might need to do some variation. We will adjust percentages up and down, sometimes in waves. For the big barbell movements, when you start looking at it, that's all they need, right? They need some extra back hamstring work. And we can add other things over time, but you get these kids are like, well, I don't have enough delt work. I'm like, you do a 3-set ramp up on overhead press every week with 5 sets of back off work. Well, yeah. How many sets of rows a week are you doing? But my side delts, your side delts are getting at least 10 sets a week. What are you talking about? Because they don't know what muscles get worked. Right? Everyone's got this idea that if you don't do a single joint movement, that a muscle is somehow not being stimulated. They don't seem to realize that there's things like even your rear delts and upper traps get some stimulation from the deadlift. It's not a lot, but the rows work all those things. Rows actually work side delts. There's data on it. Overhead press works side delts. Now we can argue they're not the best exercises for it, but when that volume starts going up on both, yeah, you start getting a lot of side delt. Plenty more than a novice needs to grow. And that's what they forget. They don't need that much work, right? To disrupt homeostasis in someone who's small and weak still. And they don't like it when you say that, but they are. They're small and weak. Okay? They are. You don't need to throw that much work. But when you start looking at a system like that and you realize, wait, you have a day where you come in and you ramp up 3 heavy sets. Well, not the first couple aren't heavy. But you ramp up to a peak set on a squat, bench, and deadlift on each of your 3 days, and then overhead press on another. Some of my guys will incline if they don't have proper space to overhead press or whatever, right? And then you do 5 sets of back off work on all of them. You'll grow from all that. I'd argue at the bare minimum, some rowing thrown in on top of it. If you did just that, you would grow. Now, I don't even cut any of my guys down that low. We do more than just row. We always do some extra stuff, good mornings and maybe things like that. Some of them get some leg presses or quad work or some dumbbell pressing or dips. They get a little bit of that stuff in there. We still do those things. But again, they have these ideas they need all this work. And if some of them cry about it, I'll give them some curls. But if they're doing pull-ups in that rotation, they're strong enough to do pull-ups, I don't know that they need curls. There's no evidence that curls are even going to make their arms grow faster in their first year of serious training. There's no evidence for it. I do curls, but I'm an elite lifter. It's a little harder for me to grow on certain things. But again, novices really think that they need more volume than they do, and the reality is a lot of them could cut out half the stuff they do, focus more on good programming on the big movements, and then looking at and saying, okay, what supplemental stuff do we need? Do I maybe need a little tricep work? Okay, do I need some extra chest pressing? Do I need some extra hamstring work? But you don't need tons of all that stuff for them. You need to find just kind of that sweet spot. And they need to eat, and they need to sleep, and they need to follow their programming. And they'll get bigger. They'll get bigger real fast. But they don't need as much stuff as they think they need. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.